Okay, to thread your sewing machine, you're going to need a sewing machine, a top thread color, a bobbin, and a piece of scrap fabric so that you can sew on it to make sure that you've threaded your machine correctly. Now for our practice time, you want to have a different colored top thread and bobbin thread so that you can really see where your thread is going and what it's doing. So make sure you have two different colors. The next thing we want to do is put our thread onto our spool pin. So we're going to take our holder off, place our thread onto the spool pin, put the holder back on there, make sure it's nice and secure. Then we are going to take our thread and put it through this back guide right here. Then we're going to wrap it around that hook. And we're going to come and go through this metal groove right here. You don't need to wrap it around this disc. This disc is used when we wind our bobbin. So all you have to do is curve it through that groove. And then we're going to follow the arrows on our machine. We're going to go down around the tension, make sure that it's nice and tight. You can hear it clicking. Make sure that your take-up lever is out so that you can see it. And then we want to work our thread through that and come back down through the corkscrew, through the hook, and then we're ready to put it through the eye of our needle. Okay, so then once you have it through the eye of your needle, we just want to go through that little groove and put the thread below our presser foot. Okay, so let's review this process one more time. We put our thread onto our spool pin, secured it, went down through the claw back here, around, through the metal groove, following the arrows down, around the thread tension, up through the take-up lever, down through the corkscrew, through the hook right here, and then finally through the eye of our needle, and then down below the presser foot. So now we're ready to do our bobbin thread. So we need to open up our throat plate, and then for our bobbin, we want the thread to be coming off the left side. So we're going to place the bobbin in the bobbin case, you can see there, and then we're going to pull the thread to the left so that it secures through the metal thread guide there. Alright, and then holding on to our top thread, we're going to turn our hand wheel toward you one rotation, and you should be able to see your top thread come down and wrap around your bottom thread. That's why we're using two different thread colors right now, so that when you're practicing you can see all of those movements of your machine. Okay, so once your top thread comes around and wraps around your bobbin thread, like it is there, you're going to pull your top thread, and then you see as it just does all the work for you. It just brings that bottom bobbin thread up. And then you can take your scissors or something else and finish pulling it all the way through. And once you have your top thread and your bottom thread through the hole underneath your needle, we just want to make sure that they're both under the presser foot and push towards the back. Now you're ready to place your fabric, your sample fabric, under your presser foot. Gently lower your presser foot. Remember, no snapping. Then you can lower your needle and give a few stitches and see if your machine is threaded correctly. Okay, if your machine was threaded correctly, your stitching should be nice and smooth, no puckering on the front and on the back. So you want to double check both sides and see how you did. Okay, keep practicing this. You need to be able to thread your sewing machine in less than 1 minute. So keep practicing.